From Bradenton, Florida, it's the round of 16 of the U16 championship bracket. Portland Timbers, the winners from Group I, face off against the second-place team from Group C. It is Belgium's KRC Genk playing in this matchup with 4 more spots to go into the quarterfinal. And how did we get to this point in the 2025 Generation Adidas Cup? Top 10 group winners advance to the championship bracket, and the top 6 second-place finishers. Premier Bracket has the next 16 teams in this Generation Adidas Cup. And we take a look at the bracket here first and foremost before we get into action. 4 spots have been punched. PSD, Eindhoven, and Columbus advancing with 3-goal performances in their sides. LA Galaxy 3-0 over Nashville, and Montreal holds off a late Barca Residency Academy to advance to the quarterfinal. As we welcome you here to the broadcast booth alongside former MLS striker Kalen Carr, Michael Watring. Great to have you with us for this one. Interesting matchup between these two clubs. What do you expect? Well,
I think the most intriguing part of this tournament, in a way for me, is seeing the clash of styles, the international competition, and the quality. And we're starting to see that this last LA Galaxy match, we're starting to see the best of the best starting to emerge through the knockout phase, now getting into this quarterfinals. And so I think the Belgian side with Genk, I've been hearing about them throughout this tournament. They've brought in some good players, some Belgian youth internationals as well on the side. And then Portland, I think, are going to give a real stiff competition, really nice players as well for them, especially in the center back position. Nystrom is one that stands out for me, and we're going to get to see them compete.
KRC Genk has quite the lineage of superstars. We'll get into that as we go throughout this match, as we take a look at the starting 11 for KRC Genk in this one. And what do you expect out of this group in the starting 11?
Yeah, I think we'll see a 4-3-3 formation coming from Genk. Boykers has a goal already. Morabet, as I mentioned, played for the Morocco and Belgian youth national team, will be in that left back position, but look for them to control possession in the middle and then try to build up to Avci up top and Fofana running off him.
Portland Timbers looks like this. Maverick Deutsch had 2 PK saves against Bayern Munich in the group stage.
Yeah, big talent, big personality, and they're going to need him today to get to the knockout phase. Of course, goalkeeper play becomes even more important, so coming in confidence with that performance. 2 saves in the shootout against Bayern Munich.
So we're ready to go here. It's KRC Genk from Belgium and Portland Timbers in the U16 championship bracket. Genk in the white kits. It's the green kits for Portland Timbers. And here we go in this round of 16 matchup between these two units. Will be fascinating to watch how these groups take flight in this one. Of course, 30-minute halves for 60-minute games in the Generation Adidas Cup. Winner of this one will get the winner of Austin FC and Vancouver Whitecaps in the quarterfinals. Ball floats to the left-hand side and out of reach. Spoke with Fernando Pessoa before the match, the head coach of Portland Timbers. He was the head coach for the U15s at the GA Cup in 2022 when they beat Valencia for the championship. Said that they were an underdog at that time, and coming into this tournament, they were on a rough run of form, and he wondered how this group would respond in this tournament, and so far, so good. Penalty kick wins against St. Louis City and Bayern Munich, and then a 2-1 win against New England in the final match of the group stage to qualify for the championship bracket. Across the park it goes. It gets knotted down, and it goes out for a goal kick.
You can see early on, Genk looking to change the point of attack, swinging it from one side to the other to try to make Portland have to adapt. So Portland looking to build out here. We've seen this throughout the tournament, continuing to play out of pressure and seeing if you can draw the other team in and then take advantage.
A giveaway by Pilot, taken over. Alunga lays it back. Indime pulls the strings from the middle of the park. Lander Borgers. Ingo Genk lays it forward. Fofana dances, accelerates into space. Fofana cuts it through the middle, and this shot sizzles high. That was a delightful little run right there by Ousmane Fofana.
Yeah, once he gets wide into the area, it's a clever little dummy to begin with to himself, and then from there two players come over and he splits the difference right between bursting through from Fofana. Excellent play, looking for the cutback, but just showing that magic to be able to use two players, momentum against each other, split the difference. Really well worked there from Fofana, isolated.
Austin has already scored against Vancouver. Winner of that game faces the winner of this game in the quarterfinal on Friday. KRC Genk getting here after falling in the opening game of this tournament 2-1. They gave up a 59th minute go-ahead goal to the eventual group champion Charlotte FC. Then they dispatched of Seattle 3-0 and added a 1-0 win against FC Cincinnati to finish second in Group C. One of the 6 second-place finishers with 6 points to advance to the knockout rounds. This ball laid forward, but defensively, KRC Genk recovers. Mugogo. Good tempo to this match from KRC Genk so far, but another giveaway. Castillo unable to hold on, and KRC Genk control here less than 5 minutes in. KRC Genk known for the development of Thibaut Courtois, Kevin De Bruyne, as well as DC United star Christian Benteke. So this is very much a group with pedigree.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of Belgian players coming across to MLS across first teams, even in bigger numbers, and especially from the number 9 position as of late. Hugo Kuipers, Chicago Fire, Petar Musa, now for FC Dallas, Dante Van Zer in the past. So number of different players coming over from Belgium and making a big impact in MLS.
It's always fun to watch these matches between MLS sides and the international teams. And speaking with a few people throughout this tournament, including Fernando Basosa, about the growth of this tournament. There was a time where the international teams were head and shoulders above these MLS groups, but the evolution of the academies have pulled things more on even ground. And we're also seeing now that these MLS groups are starting to surge out in front of the academies of the international teams here at GA Cup.
Yeah, I think in the last 3 years especially is when we've seen that biggest difference as far as closing the gap. I believe 5 of the 6 winners of GA Cup across both age groups have come from MLS. And of course, it's a tournament, anything can happen, but I think those numbers speak to some of the investment, the way things are changing. But I think even from an individual player perspective, it took me to play in MLS to start to play against these international competitions, understanding different styles, profiles, game models, and to be doing this from this age is so important.
Lakeith Avci is in, rolls this through the middle. It comes loose, it gets blocked away. Alunga was salivating at that chance.
We've seen a few times now Genk being able to get isolated in wide areas and be able to beat Timbers players one-on-one to break them down and then to look for that cutback. We saw it before on the other side from Fofana, and this time it's Achabar getting isolated and showing a bit of his quality.
Yeah, you mentioned the fact that you didn't get a chance to play against this international competition. What value does that bring for these young players to be able to get the exposure against different styles and different creative ideas?
It's huge, because I remember playing in CONCACAF Champions Cup with Houston Dynamo and going to Panama or going to Mexico and being a little bit naive, because you're used to playing against one style, the way the referees deal with the game, the way, you know, an outside back from Mexico might be different than I'm used to.
Dorantzos Walker, the early opportunity gets saved by Reinders.
Just to continue the point, to come here and to begin to understand, okay, well, this is how a Belgian team plays, or this is how a team from Central America, South America, maybe the Premier League. That's so important because across MLS, there's competitions. Of course, now we're seeing teams make it all the way to the Club World Cup. And, of course, internationally, a lot of these players we see on these pitches are going to play one day for their respective national teams. And so to get exposed to that from the beginning, from this age, it's huge for their development.
Fofana gets fouled. Yeah, you see it with Leagues Cup as well, with the teams from Mexico that MLS teams get a chance to play against. And a lot of times some of the academy players, the younger players, that's their first taste at professional action is against Mexican sides or the international side. So having that development at an early age provides value as they start their pro careers. Free kick. Loop towards the back post, over a couple bodies. Late run in from Ngogang. And it's over his foot and out for a goal kick.
Yeah, it's a really good ball in there from Ilunga, searching for that back post, and it drops exactly in the spot that he would have wanted it to. And you could see him holding his arms out to say, hey, fellas, we got to crash the back post if I put it there. And with the wind especially, difficult position for the goalkeeper, Ravertuch, to be able to come off his line there and stays glued to it. Good ball in.
There is Maverick Deutsch. Young man that is not shy about social media. Very much attracted to the microphone and trying to have his play speak loud here today in this round of 16 matchup and try to get his team to the quarterfinal. Indime sprints forward, trots through several defenders. He gets the deck and eventually punches it forward for Deutsch.
Yeah, good run there from Indime. Just gets caught a little bit underneath him. Clearly not a foul there, but tries to reach back and trips himself up a little bit. But good opportunity for him to try to break lines with the ball at his feet.
KRC Genk very much on the front foot here at the outset of this one. Fofana is dazzled through the middle of the field. Look at this speed that he has and cuts this through. Clever pass. Afkif Avci tosses it over the top. Nobody making that run on the back post again. Portland look to break. Baus lays it wide. Dorantzos Walker again spikes one through. It gets punched away by Reinders.
Linkervoet, opzetten, geen fout. Erop zetten, geen fout. Kom je weg. Landal, rugdekking.
Castillo charges forward and shielded off of that one by Ngogang, and it goes out. It's a corner kick here, much to the disdain of KRC Genk.
He's closer. Talk to the referee, no corner.
Corner kick for the first time in this matchup. This cross bends in, skims off of the shoulder of Pilot. Hookers clears. Achabar rolls it down, and that's how it comes to an end on that surge from Timbers. 12 minutes in, we're scoreless between Portland and KRC Genk from Belgium in the 2025 Generation Adidas Cup. This is the U16 championship bracket, round of 16. 4 more spots to go. The winner of this one will get the winner of Austin and Vancouver. And at last check, it was Austin in front, 1-0 against the Whitecaps.
Oh, that's a lovely play there from the left back, who a spotlight in the early portion of this match. Morabet just lifting the ball over the head of Timbers defender and keeping it. You don't often see outside backs pulling that off. That's exactly what I'd talk about just prior to that, but this is the chance from Portland. They've done a really good job building into their game, finding their footing and keeping possession. Use the outside areas really well here. Just building down the flank. It's served in a little bit. It's like searching for that player, crashing in on the back post there. Good intervention, but
this ball fired all the way across. Fofana measures. Fofana gets the angle. Fofana hits the outside netting and gets his team a corner.
And Fofana's so clever, just using his body so well, and the ball comes to him on that far half space here. And one-on-one, he has been a problem so far for the Timbers. Just when you think he's going to set it up, just takes that extra little touch around him. Not the biggest player, of course, but the change of pace, cleverness of how to use his body and technique. It's been really good so far.
Deutsch clears that ball, and the Timbers now look to attack. Portland have given up a goal in every game of this tournament. Genk have back-to-back clean sheets. And Fofana again goes to work. Good defensive work by Xander Pilot.
Yeah, that's better there from Pilot, just to keep his feet. Now you play against a player a few times, you start to pick up their tendencies. You know that Fofana is going to try to dribble you, to use that second player to come across to see if one player might pass along the responsibility, but good discipline there to keep your feet.
Mendeme is able to win the ball inside of the 18, but his cross gets blocked. Ilunga loses possession. Out to Castillo. Castillo with two defenders around. Ends up losing the ball. It's well taken by Borgers. Lander twirls. Runs into Pilot, who's had a strong start to this one. And he's going to have quite the test along this side of the field.
Yeah, because you can see Genk continually bringing numbers to the right-hand side, creating those overloads, and had to hold strong. Some clever players, some interchanging of positions. That's a part of Genk's profile coming into this, and in these first 15 minutes, we've seen it.
A little shove and a foul. Lorenzo Swacker draws it. Long ball off of the restart. Cius chases. Morabet crosses it over. Backpedaling Fofana has overlap options. Likes to go to the middle of the field and tries to funnel it through. Engelgang. You know, it is impressive to watch these international teams dealing with the time difference, acclimating to the weather as well. Europe at this time of the year, certainly not the kind of weather that you would be seeing here in Florida. Temperatures in the mid-80s, steamy here, and then learning for most of these kids, if not all, their very first visit to the U.S.
Have you been to Portland? It's not 80 degrees. Maybe for a week in the summer. But these players here are going to have to adjust to a little bit. Another good big switch here from Nystrom. He's been a big part of their system. One more promising players from their academy, and you can see his range of distribution early. Looking for that big switch here.
Yeah, you're right. 56 degrees right now in Genk, 52 in Portland. So
that's
maybe
very similar.
yeah. Similar climates. And Dime tosses it in. The ball just trickles near the penalty spot for a moment before it gets punched away. Morabet slams the brakes on. Lorenzo Walker unable to hold it up. It gets taken right back. Ilunga dances with the ball at his feet. Borgers recycles Morabet. Punched away defensively by Noble Spies. Again, being asked to defend as he slides that away.
Oh, well done.
Aces the test. Thoratsos Walker unable to slow it down as he's defended by Bukers.
That's really good 1v1 defending, not only to keep your feet defensively, but to win it and keep possession. Unable to keep that last ball forward. Oh, mistake here.
Flag is up, though, for offside, so that allows the Timbers to dodge a bullet.
You can just see how comfortable this Genk team are with the ball at their feet. Cross positions, of course, the wingers have caused problems. The fullbacks pushing forward, but even in the midfield, Lunga, just sort of a few pirouettes to keep possession, to play it out. Once they get to that wide spot, that's where those one-on-one duels start to come. But credit to the Timbers. Feels like they've got a little bit more of their feet underneath them, understanding now, hey, this is a feel for the game, how those wingers are going to try to test them, and so far they've done a good job of responding to it.
Timbers winning Group I. Only 3 group winners had more points than the 7 collected by Portland, winning 2 penalty kick shootouts, as well as their finale. KRC Genk on the other side. 6 points, 1 off the pace sent up by Charlotte. And Charlotte faces Philadelphia Union in that clash. That game currently going on as well. One of the 4 simultaneous games in the U16 bracket. Direct pass up and over the top. Morabet watches Cias head. Thoratsos Walker nearly got it. Cias has a chance. What a punch that is from Reinders.
Wow, nervy moments here from Genk. The ball in behind here from the Timbers, taking a bit more of a direct option. You can see the center back trying to hold off just enough for his goalkeeper to come out, and Thoratsos Walker is clever to come in and get a toe to it. It drops to Cias, who looks to have a open net, but Deutsch able to get a hand to it.
First corner of this match as this gets swung in. Thoratsos Walker nudges it off of a defender, and it rattles the rope to put Timbers out in front 1-0 at the 20-minute mark.
We hadn't seen much of the Timbers attack to this point, but Thoratsos Walker, that's a really clever header at that near post. So difficult to get the right trajectory on it, and he ducks his head perfectly to pick out that near post there, and there he's off to the races to celebrate with his Timbers compatriots. And credit to him, he helped create this opportunity to win the corner to begin with, and then from an acute angle picks out that near post, goes off Morabet, but can't keep it out the back of the net, and the Timbers up 1-0 against the run of play here.
Very much felt like KRC Genk was the team in control of this one, but Thoratsos Walker, who has been the Timbers' top goal scorer through the MLS Next season, had the goal of the week in MLS Next in December, opens the scoring in this one. 1-0 the advantage for the Timbers, looking to advance to the quarterfinal.
Yeah, but isn't that the sign of a great striker? Maybe not as involved as he would have liked to this point of the match, but just gets his one chance. See the quality, a difficult header to try to wrap your head around it. You can see him sort of ducking almost like a turtle just to get the right trajectory on it, and really class header to get to that near post and give Timbers the advantage.
Elias Thoratsos Walker's first goal of the 2025 Generation Adidas Cup.
And it came from a little bit more of just direct play, and we've seen the Timbers trying to build and play out, but it's so important for these players to recognize the game. We've seen a few big switches from Nystrom, not just playing long, but with an idea, so that when that first ball is maybe flicked on from Cias and Walker's rushing on, or maybe in vice versa. So when to pick to play and when to pick to bypass is important. So far, the Timbers have struck that balance quite well today.
Thoratsos Walker flies this over the top, sensing that maybe Rune Reinders was a little bit off of his line.
Yeah, a little bit of a heat check. Confidence coming through him after scoring a goal like that, and he's not shy. I love seeing that from strikers.
Well, that snapped a nearly 150-minute scoreless drought by KRC Genk opponents in this tournament. First goal that they'd allowed since the 59th minute against Charlotte in game number 1. In a 2-1 loss to Charlotte. A wide switch, and Genk a little bit off of its early start to this game where they were free flowing after giving up the goal. Achabar. Ingo Gong. Akif Avci. Up top it goes. Alunga. Circling Ashabar. He was offside.
Yeah, and they've switched Ashabar and Fofana onto either flank. Just give a little bit of a different look to switch things up, and you're right, it feels like Genk haven't quite had the same sort of feeling that they had to begin this game as far as the possession play, that connectivity, and Timbers have had the better of the play. You can see going a little bit more with the direct option, winning second balls, and then trying to keep possession in more advanced areas of the pitch.
Genk have scored in every game that they have played in this tournament. Alunga comes back. Taken away. Baus. Lays it forward. Castillo. Castillo sprints to the middle. Castillo stumbles down as he hits the grass. Asks for a foul. Doesn't get it. A chance for Genk to rebuttal. Borgers. Fofana. Fofana debates, and yet again, excellent defending by Noble Spies. Give and go. Cius. The Ratsos Walker forces the giveaway. Cius. Crazy how a goal changes things. Timbers now the team with confidence.
A nice little partnership between Cius and Ratsos Walker, causing problems on that right flank. But you're right, a goal can change everything, and especially set pieces in tournament play are so important. You look all the way from the World Cup down to the academy level, wherever you are, if you want to go deep in a tournament, you have to get those details right. And that's where you saw the quality come out from the Timbers. An excellent goal, one of the best I've seen so far in the tournament, especially from a dead ball situation.
Kickoff!
Stumble, no foul. Indime tries to find a little bit of space. Lays it off. Ashibar. Indime again. Leaves it wide. Alunga hits it first time, and it rises over the top.
Yeah, but it's really well worked here from Genk. Going to the far side of the pitch through Fofana. I could hear the managers yelling, simple, simple, on the sideline. And it's because they wanted to find Indime in that space in between. Doesn't come off on this one, but keeps his feet, pulls it back, and just releases. It's a little strong there. Maybe take a bit of the weight off. It would allow Alunga to hit that first time a little easier towards that back post there, but well worked from side to side, and good opportunity once it circulates all the way to the far side to Alunga. It's been really good for me.
Ashibar lays it forward, but the flag would have gone up for offside with Akif Avci in an advanced spot. So closing in on halftime here. Portland Timbers leading in this U16 round of 16 match. Elias Dorados Walker has the goal in this game, a header off of a corner kick in the 21st minute. Can Genk respond before halftime? Morabet. Indime is fouled. And Genk will have a nice location here for a set piece just before halftime.
Yeah, and the timing of it would be massive, trying to get level here just before halftime to switch some of the momentum as well. It feels like Genk have lost a little bit of life after the set piece goal they've conceded. It could be a bit dispiriting from the way they began the game, and now here you'll see Alunga's opportunity here to try to pick out. It's going to be a left-footed outswinger a little bit, so look towards this back post for runners to be crashing.
1 minute of stoppage time here in the first half. Alunga curls this ball right into the middle of the mixer. Only the Timbers touch it inside of the 18. Borgers. Ashibar able to split two defenders, but desperate defense. Fofana gets it back. Alunga. Morabet launches. That's always rising.
Yeah, but dangerous one-on-one play on both wings, and it's pick your poison for Genk. Ashibar wriggling through two players. Eventually it drops deep to Morabet, but unable to put that on frame.
First half whistle blows, and that's where we sit after the opening 45 minutes of play. It is Portland Timbers 1, KRC Genk 0 at the break here in the 2025 Generation Adidas Cup. We'll step out for a break. Highlights from last night's MLS Next Pro matchup between Orlando and Miami, as well as our first matchup here today between LA Galaxy and Nashville, as we step out for a break at halftime here in Bradenton.
Yeah, I know I'm really attractive. I'm hanging on like a fridge to a magnet. It's a jigsaw with all the right pieces. You and me, we go good together. You and I go good together. You and I, we go good together. We go good together.
You ready? MLS is game on. Don't cheat? On. Stars on.
Kevin Sullivan, the history maker.
30,000 friends on. Rivalries on.
versus New York City.
MLS, this is our soccer. Game on.
It was a sizzling night for the MLS Next Pro at Generation Adidas Cup in this showcase of the Florida Derby. And in the 16th minute, Tyler Hall cleans things up.
It's a bit of a mistouch, really good ball into the mix, but Miami there to clean it up. Hall not taking any chances with that wide open look at goal. Not much that Mercado could have done there.
Orlando had trailed for just 27 minutes all year. 7 minutes later, they tie it up on this Tahir Reed Brown laser.
It's the movement into the attacking third here. Really, anyone could have put it away from any spot, but it's the selflessness, the layoff that sets him up for this banger of a goal through traffic. Tahir Reed.
Looked like it was going to be a stalemate going into halftime, but Sparks with a flawless pass and a dazzling finish from Saha.
Pure entertainment. Take notes here. I mean, look at this back heel flick. Wide open space, but it's just having the confidence and the spatial awareness to know that he could make that happen.
2-1 at halftime for Inter Miami 2, and 10 minutes into the second half, it was Zeltzer Zubita's turn with a missile from range.
Again, a really good spatial awareness here, moving in that horizontal space, switching things up, gives him a nice open look there. Would have been really hard for any keep to deny that one.
Yvonne Schmidt earned his first start in MLS Next Pro, and boy, did he reward the coaching staff.
Save after save after save. I mean, look at this one here again, sprawling out. It's the way he sets up, the way he reads the play. And again, brand new, comes in with commanding presence.
At the very end, though, Shaq Muhammad scores for the 4th consecutive match, finishing a penalty in the 101st minute. But it's Inter Miami, 5 in a row unbeaten in the Florida Derby, taking out Orlando City B 3-2. The U16 championship bracket knockout stage begins with LA Galaxy taking out Nashville 3-0. Michael Watrank, Kalen Carr, and our team wrapping up the action here on this Wednesday morning. And Nashville's best chance early in this game came off of a bobble from Will Walker.
Yeah, so important, though, to set the tone early, and set pieces provide such an important piece of tournament play. Nashville tried to take advantage, but this was much more of a preview of what was to come for the Galaxy. With Steelman trying to square that across to Medina, doesn't quite get the right contact. Arias was strong in goal, but once again we see Steelman on this right-hand flank and plays it across the middle, but this is good patience to recirculate this, a little back heel, and then it comes back to Steelman, who'd been going one-on-one all day, but this time plays the early ball across. It's really clever here to find this wide area and to vary it up, to not go one-on-one, to play it early. It's curled in perfectly, and Medina with a diving header gives the Galaxy the 1-0 lead in this match. And from there, you can see the set pieces were a big part of this for the Galaxy. And how about this strike here? Just absolutely crushes this one from Eddie Chadwick. Comes back to him. Thought maybe he was going to have a go at the far post. Instead, just kisses it off the inside of the post. It then goes inside, clearly crosses the line. It's the right decision from the referee here to spot this crossing that line. Excellent strike from Chadwick. And then when Nashville had to push numbers forward, it was only going to go one direction. And Mondragon had 2 goals in the tournament, shows the depth, shows the class, the patience to come across and take that extra touch. Brought down from Arias, and then steps up himself and says, hey, I'd like my 3rd of the tournament, and the 3rd of the day for the Galaxy. Sip of the tea there from Eddie Chadwick, the U.S. and England Youth International, having a bit of fun with it, and the Galaxy 3-0 win, important here in the knockouts.
And on to the quarterfinals in the GA Cup.
Let's go, get your feet down now. Sharp, go!
The effort we are doing in our academies is not only comparable to what I know from over in Europe, part of even better.
Let's go! Nice. Focus on tactics here, then we'll talk about how we're going to use our heart. Remember, both of these, brain and heart, is going to get us through.
The support staff, our head coaches, are all men that invest in these young men as people. And we have good men and women invested in these kids at the academy level daily. And I think that's what makes the pathway, that's what makes it special.
If you love soccer, then you want to be at the highest level, and I think is to be at MLS Next.
All right, boys, let's give it our all. Fight for the guy next to you and fight for your parents. They go out here, they drive us every day so we can play what we love to play.
My family was able to come out from Salt Lake, and it's really special just being able to play in front of them and being able to have their support with them watching on the sideline. It means a lot.
Coming to an academy, you think you know a lot, but all these coaches have experience, they know what they're doing, so I think it's always good wanting to learn from the coaches.
Keep it going now, yeah!
It comes from like the director all the way down through the academy, that they all coach the same way, they'll have the same principles.
So who's going to step up in the big moment, right? Who's going to be a big play?
There's definitely different styles of coaching. Some coaches are harder on you, but you know, at the end of the day, that comes out of love and like respect for you and trying to get the most out of you.
So find that balance between intensity and excitement and the ability to execute at a high level. That's the ultimate sign of a champion.
Yeah, I know I'm fully attracted. I'm hanging on like a fridge to a magnet. It's a jigsaw with all the right pieces. You and me, we go good together. You and I go good together. You and I, we go good together. We go good together.
You ready? MLS is game on. Don't you? On. Stars on.
Kevin Sullivan, the history maker.
30,000 friends on. Rivalries on.
Versus New York City.
MLS, this is our soccer. Game on.
A half hour in the books here in beautiful Florida. Portland Timbers lead KRC Genk out of Belgium. 1-0. Michael and Kalen back with you here at halftime of the 2025 Generation Adidas Cup. And Kalen, the opening minutes really belonged to Genk. They just couldn't finish.
Yeah, they were picking and probing and then finding the wide areas, and then Fofana was allowed to cook on his own. I mean, uses two players to pass the responsibility, splits them, bursts through, and this little cutback is really clever to the top of the box, but well defended from Portland to make a little bit of contact to stop that. But it continued to push down these flanks, got into the wide areas a few times. Lovely little turn, and once again, Fofana just using that extra little bit of pause, that hesitation to push past his defender, and then the other direction, Portland continued to push forward, got a little bit more of a foothold as the half progressed and moved the ball into the wide areas. Jaratzis Walker pushed out wide, a little bit of a cross situation that goalkeeper had to come take advantage, and then says, I'd like to get back into the number 9 area, wins the corner kick, and then the service comes in. It's a really difficult header from this angle. The in-swinger is able to get the perfect flick on to that near post and give Portland the big advantage. An excellent strike there from Jaratzis Walker. That's where you see Portland up 1-0 at the half.
Jaratzis Walker with his first goal of this tournament, and the Group I victors have the edge halfway home in this one. The winner gets the winner of Austin and Vancouver. That was 1-0 at halftime in that matchup. 4 teams have already advanced to the quarterfinal. 4 more will qualify here in roughly the next half hour. Great to have you with us for this matchup. It's 1-0, Portland out in front. Second half starts with Portland on the ball. They wear the green kits, it's the white kits for Genk in this one. Couple changes at halftime. It was Prosper Obuwe coming in. He replaces Lander Borgers in the 11. And then Portland made a change as well. Henry Muller replaces Xander Pilots. And then a man that scored a few times in this tournament, Adrian Villalpando Lopez, replaces Miguel Castillo. So those are your halftime changes for these two groups. It was a confident Genk group at the outset, pushing against this Timbers side. Here's El Morabet. His cross knocks off of Cias. It's out, and it's a throw. El Morabet to take this deep in the corner. Ndeme sprints to the touchline, arcs this in. It hits the body of Mata and goes out, and it's a corner kick here for Genk, their second of the match.
Good work there for him. Ndeme. I think the easy play would be to play it right back to Morabet, but is clever to turn there and twist his body. They play short here.
Alunga. This ball trickles out towards the middle of the park. Doratsos Walker nearly takes it away. Ashabar. Ndeme taps it up top, looking for space, carving it out to the right side. Fofana back through the middle. Villanueva clears.
Got so good there from Ashabar, though, to come back defensively to win it and then to dribble his way through. Showing excellent footwork, one-on-one ability, finding it to Ndeme. Long ball here. Just really clever in those tight areas. Genk have been, especially as they get into that attacking half, those front 4, 5 players coming in, just haven't quite been able to find that final pass as of yet in this match.
Spoke with Fernando Pessoa before this match, the head coach of Portland Timbers, and he said things have to change when you're playing these 60-minute games. You have to change the style with which you play, because you take 30 minutes off the game clock, it just changes the entire dynamic of what you're trying to do out there on the field. And Genk had that early flourish. They're trying to recapture that here in this second half.
Yeah, I think it also makes that first goal so important for both teams, where just less time to recover and less ebbs and flows of the match. A great tackle here from Ndeme to win this and then to drive forward.
Ndeme lays it off. Fofana taps it right back forward. Ndeme. It has gone final. Austin has beaten Vancouver Whitecaps, so Austin awaits the winner of this match in the quarterfinal. Ashabar doing it all by himself now, leaves it for Sammy El Morabet. Bukers. Ashabar. Noble Spies. Space here for Husu. More a bet. Alunga. There are no seams right now in this back line for Portland. An injury, though, here. Sias is down. Well, game 2 of 4 here today. Coming up at 2 p.m., a big moment in Generation Adidas Cup. The first ever girls matchup. Girls Academy red against Manchester City. And then the nightcap tonight of our quadruple header will feature the U18s of Atlanta United and Inter Milan. Of course, all games streaming on MLS's YouTube channel. Indame glides it across. Engo Gang dancing around here. Bounces through. Again, nobody in a white jersey there. Plenty of time for Noble Spies to clear to midfield.
Yeah, but when the 9 slides out wide, you have to have runners filling in, and some of the profile of the players like to come underneath, and somebody's got to fill that position.
Here's this ball in. Akif Avci unable to latch onto it, and Maverick Deutsch hasn't had a lot to do in the last 25 minutes or so.
Yeah, it's been pretty quiet there from Avci, except for those last couple minutes, and getting him a little bit more involved. Sometimes as a 9, it's difficult if you're not getting your touches, but it's a good run to go out wide and create some space. But you have to have the runners fill the position. The second one, he slips in and he's not able to quite get on the end of it, but need to find that connection with the number 9 and the wingers for Genk.
Portland will take any chance that they get to hold on to the ball as it's slanted towards Genk here in this second half, but it is taken away. Endame unable to hold on to it, however. A lengthy run from Baus. Cross goes out of play. Goal kick. Genk's first team won the 2024-25 Belgian Pro League, 68 points, 9 clear of the number 2 spot. They built their youth center right next to the stadium back in 03. Akif Avci is in. He curls one around. It beats Deutsch. Genk has tied it up. Less than 10 minutes into the second half. Mohamed Akif Avci makes it 1 apiece.
Just as we were talking of trying to find ways for the 9 to get involved, it's a wonderful ball in behind from Morabet, and it's a difficult angle as he stretches wide, and it's a delicate finish. It just plays perfectly to slot it towards the back post there. A wonderful run in behind from Avci, and Genk right back in this.
It's his first goal of the tournament for Mohamed Akif Avci. And for Genk, it feels like a deserving moment for a team that have played on the front foot for the majority of this game. So we start fresh at 1 apiece, nearly give it away. Deutsch is able to slide it away. And interesting because Genk was just getting ready to make 3 changes, and they brought those 3 players back as they now have to reset and change their decision making here with roughly 20 minutes to go.
Yeah, I think some of the substitutions were set to try to push the game, and now back on level terms and with the momentum going their way, almost another opportunity for Avci back pressing, and he's just come alive as of late. Sometimes that's how it goes for a striker. We saw it in the first half with Duraxis Walker. The way his goal gave him some life. Now we see this on the other side with Avci. coming alive in this second half, and an important goal because he was being closed in behind, tracked down well from the other side from Nystrom, pushed him wide as you're supposed to do as a center back to make it a difficult angle, but Avci shows his class by picking out a delicate little pass to the back post to bring Genk level in this match.
Here he is again. Avci rolls this ball through. Deutsch comes over and scoops it up. Cius. Hands go up, but it's a goal kick. Tied at 1 apiece here in this round of 16 matchup in the U16 championship bracket. Elias Tharatzos Walker scoring the opening goal in the 21st minute for Portland. The response was from Mohamed Akif Avci in the 39th. Fofana has it, lays it up top. El Morabet curls. Deutsch gloves it away.
Genk are on the ascendancy, pushing forward down this left flank. Comes to Fofana, cuts it back to the right back all the way on the other side of the box there with Morabet. Began this play with some lovely combination play on the left flank with Achabar. I love the way they just push forward. Achabar says we'll figure it out as we go, trusting his teammate with Morabet. They play the 1-2, get him behind, and some lovely interchange down that left-hand side for Genk.
Change for Genk as well. Asil Saidi comes in, and Usman Fofana comes out, and what a performance it was. Quite the shift for that young man. Corner comes in, headed into the sky. Deutsch is there to cradle. Tharatzos Walker pilfers. Tharatzos Walker is in. He stumbles, but the defensive work there by Hosu is crisp.
Yeah, it's a great tackle here from Hosu. A really good play from Tharatzos Walker to create this opportunity by himself, and had to get it right. Had to get it perfect. A clean tackle there, keep possession, and allow Genk to escape that moment.
Here goes Akif Avci again. He's put his stamp on this second half and been a man to reckon with. Alunga, Akif Avci, Alunga laces, but off of a defender, and then he goes back to rescue.
That's class. That's so good there from Alunga. You can just see how clever this team is.
A quick sprint in. Deutsch makes himself big. It's a penalty. Deutsch comes out. He takes out the run of Ashabar. And Genk have a chance for their first lead in this game.
Genk just finding another level as of late, and it's Ashabar getting into that interior pocket, and then the cleverness to be able to burst through that midfield, to cut across, and then to gain position. Really clever there. He waits and baits for Deutsch to come out. It's clear contact, but Ashabar has been a problem throughout this entire match. His ability to cut inside and get in those little spaces. Excellent work. Now a big opportunity to go from one down to the lead here.
Alunga will have the honors. Deutsch saved 2 PKs in the group stage against Bayern Munich. He makes another save, denying Alunga to keep the score tied at 1.
How about that for timing? Deutsch's 2 saves against Munich and now steps up against Genk. Gets called for the penalty and then erases it. No problem, he says. The confidence from the young man. A big time to step up for Portland.
What a shift of emotions there Genk on the front foot, confident, already with an equalizer. Seconds away from seemingly taking the edge, but Deutsch makes another save. It's a confident Genk side now with a quarter hour to play in this round of 16 bout. Lorenzo Walker chases a backpedal here for Runders. Excellent action here in the U16 championship bracket. Austin FC awaits in the quarterfinal. This ball gets laid up into the sky. Ashabar. He is fouled.
We're going to look at this penalty here, and I think this is just instinct here. He just reads his body shape and the confidence of the goalkeeper, Deutsch, who's had 2 big saves against Bayern Munich in penalties and coming in with that momentum. But how about that for timeliness to be able to keep his team in this? We spoke about his personality. He's been on podcasts, social media, all that, but goalkeeper to step up in that position. Not going to have a lot of video, of course, playing against international competition. That's just down to instinct and intuition. Really good save there from Deutsch. Come up big for Portland.
Genk haven't been in penalties at all so far in this tournament either. Twice for Deutsch and company. Saidi hooks this ball around, headed across and in. Genk does take the lead. They were denied on the penalty. They are not denied here. Maxime Bukers puts Genk in front for the first time today.
Yeah, Achabar's foul sets up this set piece here. It's a lovely service in. It's curled perfectly, and the big center back, Bukers, with his second goal of the tournament, and what a time to come up with it. Going across the frame of goal, no chance for Deutsch there. An excellent finish, and Genk have been knocking on the door, and Bukers gets them through. Now, at least with this lead, about 15 minutes left in this match.
He scored the second goal in game 2 of the group stage against Seattle in a 3-0 win. And let's see how the Timbers respond. And that's something that Fernando Pessoa talked about. He said that they were in a little bit of a rough patch coming into the GA Cup. And he felt like his team at times, when they had fallen behind, their shoulders would sink, their heads would fall, and they wouldn't have the response. But they've had that so far in this tournament. And with 12 minutes to play, they need to be able to come back in this one, trailing by a goal for the first time today.
And again, we mentioned it. Set pieces during tournament play, such a big factor. I don't care what level it is. And here you've seen the quality through the run of play. It hasn't just been settling for fouls or looking for balls from distance. It's been both, really. Portland have done well, and them took their chance in the first half. Of course, they had the penalty save, but credit to Genk for having the clever pieces, of course, to draw these fouls. But then the big man steps up. Booker's the center back in a big way.
If you're Portland now, when do you start to press maybe a little bit more than you need to? Or do you still try to play into the run of this with 11 minutes to play?
I think you're going to have to stretch a little bit, but you don't want to leave yourself too exposed for these moments in transition.
Olunga unable to whittle it around. Viando Lopez.
Heel belangrijk. Kiel, Hoegen. Hoegen, Kiel. Hoegen. Hoegen.
Now comes some of that game management here for Genk. Trailed at halftime 1-0. They scored twice in 8 minutes to take the advantage, despite the fact that in that stretch as well, they had a penalty kick denied by Deutsch. Reinders is able to get this away. Dorantos Walker was chasing. Alunga, El Morabat, the captain. And no rush at all. Avci unable to hold on to it. Ashabar curls it to the right side. Ngogong lays it forward. This ball thrown all the way across. A clearance only gets as far as Ashabar. Genk making a change. Jari Vanderhallen, who scored the game winner against FC Cincinnati in the last game of the group stage, coming out. And the man that opened the scoring for Genk, Mohamed Akif Avci, comes out.
Yeah, big time goal from him. It was quiet for a long stretch, but then woke up, came to life just at the right moment and showed his class with a clever little finish. But Genk have been really good throughout this match in possession. These little 1-2s, clever movement, trusting each other. And you can hear their manager on the sideline here, Patrick Boland, just continuing to ask them to play 1-2s, especially on this left-hand side. Been really dangerous.
And the foul given. Or throw, rather. Dorantos Walker as he skip over his head. This ball heading right in our direction and over our heads, out. Portland has a change to be made. Evander Sanchez is coming in. And he's going to replace Zion Bloxham, who had the assist on the Dorantos Walker goal in the 21st minute.
Yeah, really good service from him. You can see the thumbs up here from the manager, Fernando Pessoa. His contributions, and Sanchez getting an opportunity to change the rhythm a little bit. Right here, a lovely little ball in behind there to release him.
A stumble. Balance lost by Muller, and it's taken over. Genk has it. Rolando Villapando Lopez gets fouled. Villanueva fouled.
Yeah, it was Villanueva that had the little behind the leg pass to release Sanchez just a few moments before. Important for him to do well and build out. Some nice little moments there from him.
This ball rolled forward, but Vanderhallen was offside. Not by much, but slightly off.
There's going to be more opportunities for that run from him. Just has to shape his run correctly to give a little bit of a curve to it to not run offside there. The timing just a bit off in the end.
Over Dorantos Walker's head. Roughly 6 minutes to play in this U16 championship bracket matchup. Portland scored the opener in the first half, 21st minute. Elias Dorantos Walker's header made it 1-0. It stayed that way until the 39th minute. A good run and a pleasant finish from Mohamed Avci. Tied it at 1 apiece. And then in the 47th minute, Bukers with a header off of a excellent corner in. Made it 2-1 for Genk, looking to advance to the quarterfinal where Austin awaits after a 1-0 win against Vancouver Whitecaps. Michael Watring, Kalen Carr, and our team with you here in Bradenton, Florida for the 2025 Generation Adidas Cup. Over the top, Sanchez hits it into the sky. Tarazos Walker nudges it over. Villanueva out wide. Leopoldo Lopez loses possession.
That was great defensive work there from Morabet. We've seen his quality going forward with the ball, but shows the defensive technique there to shut down that opportunity for Portland.
Timbers. Sense of urgency now with about 4 minutes to go. Tarazos Walker unable to rescue. Goes out for a goal kick.
Yeah, but he's going to continue to push. I really like that from the striker position. He's just tireless working, back pressing. Times it's a lonely job as the 9 to try to press, and just want to see if they can get him one more opportunity. It may come from his defensive effort, and if Genk slip up at all, he'll be looking to take advantage.
Tarazos Walker gets fouled. Morabet is the man that commits the foul. And this is a great chance if you're Portland here in the 57th minute to try to level the score.
Yeah, it's really good work here from Tarazos Walker to keep possession, to keep it tight underneath him, but to turn, not to settle for maybe the layoff or going towards the corner, to be aggressive. He gets rewarded with another set piece opportunity. We've already seen what he can do in the air, and runners coming across, crashing this box. Not a lot of time left. A big chance here for Portland.
Jordan Villanueva has the duties here. Villanueva bends this ball around and doesn't get any kind of whip on that. It goes right into the paws of Rune Reinders. Alunga breaks. 3 minutes plus stoppage time remaining. Portland Timbers, the 2022 U16 champions. In hopes of hoisting a second trophy. Starting to drip away. Endeme taps it right back to Ashavar. Ashavar has his sights set on getting his team a third as he crosses this in. Deutsch again kicks away. Endeme sizzles this ball through. A third go at it. Hooks high.
How much have we seen Ashavar do this? He just is able to turn and twist so quickly. It's leaving 3 Portland Timbers defenders in his wake, and he's been able to do that all match. Just an absolute menace on that flank, using his body, turning on a dime. Impressive from him all day.
Sounding like 3 minutes of stoppage time here in this one. And the Timbers need every second now against the Belgian Giants, leading by a goal. KRC Genk looking to see this one all the way through. Saidi crosses. Ashavar. Alunga has to go behind his back. Timbers need to break now. Tarazos Walker waits for it. It never reaches him, but it is a throw. Noble Spies. Aided along, Tarazos Walker right back to where it started. But Villapando Lopez shielded out.
It was a good step there from Bookers to jump in front of that pass, and maybe an opportunity on the next one. They can find Tarazos Walker where tuck in underneath and then get him behind there. That's the space he wants to get to. Good fight.
That ball stays in play. Lorenzo Walker unable to hold on to it, however. Booker's a little slow to get up. Unlocking down the park is Ashabar. A confirmed 3 minutes of stoppage time. This ball hooked all the way around, knocked away. Nobody in green on that side of the field. Saidi. Saidi keeps it in play. Desperate defending now for the Timbers to try to get the ball back. They just want one more quality build in the final couple minutes. This ball bounces. Lorenzo Walker tries to get the angle or the edge. Continues to be shielded by Mogogo. That is really good defensive work, carrying Lorenzo Walker for about 20 yards.
Yeah, it's really important. Great ball in behind, actually. And everything in behind as of late has been challenged from Lorenzo Walker, who thought maybe deserved a foul on the earlier possession, but really good positioning here to use his strength to continue to leverage, not to foul, and to know that he's just got to see that one out over the edge.
Olunga is in. Olunga laces. Deutsch stifles yet again.
You couldn't ask for much more from Deutsch. He's been tremendous.
Lorenzo Walker chases. Lorenzo Walker flips this over the top. Does it have the pace to go in? It does not. It stays out. Mogogo saves the day for Genk.
My goodness.
Lorenzo Walker was inches away from tying this one up in the final seconds. Moravet lays it through the middle. Ashabar pushes it forward. Vanderhallen is in, taps it. Deutsch denies a second.
Well, this is end-to-end stuff now for Portland and Genk, and frankly, that suits Portland at this stage of the match. They've continued to push on and just waiting for that one chance, and boy, it fell perfectly there to Lorenzo Walker. The first opportunity with Genk getting in, it's Olunga, and it's excellent positioning, reads it perfectly as he has all day from Deutsch, and then suddenly this goes on the other side. This looks like it's trickling in, and it's Mogogo at the last second clears it off the post, inches there away from Portland equalizing.
Sanchez crosses, back post header, flares high. A second incredible chance for Timbers to tie, and this run from Cius just misses.
Portland have had their chances. They've done so well to push. It's the second balls that they compete for drops out for them, and it's wonderfully served in here. Excellent ball across from Sanchez, and drops to Cius on that back post, just unable to get on top of it.
This ball finds Sanchez. Sanchez hustles. One more crack here for the Timbers. Doesn't get the pace on it. Cleared to midfield. Appeals for the final whistle from Genk. Timbers hoping for one chance, but there is the final whistle. A frenetic finish in the U16 round of 16. Timbers give everything they have, but Genk survives. 2 second-half goals to overcome a 1-0 halftime deficit to win 2-1.
You can see the elation here from Genk, and I think the frustration from Portland, but they absolutely emptied the tank. Full marks to both teams for going end to end. The second half was just tremendous, and inches separating these two teams. But Genk ultimately deserved winners to get through to the next round.
And indeed, to the next round goes Genk, and our Adidas man of the match is Kyan Ashabar, and he really had his hand on a lot of the activity in the second half.
Yeah, he was just electric and continued to push one-on-one, 1v2, 1v3 at times. Was able to just always find that perfect half space and wiggle his way through them, and drew the penalty and ended up being safe, but throughout the match. Just a 90-minute performance. Excellent from him. And Genk, I think a team that is going to be reckoned with.
An absolute thriller here in the U16 bout. KRC Genk is on to the quarterfinal to face Austin. 2 second-half goals in 8 minutes. And the team from Belgium advances to the quarterfinals. 2-1 winners over a resilient Timbers crew. For my partner, Kaylin Carr, I'm Michael Watchbank signing off. 2 more games to come, including one at 2 p.m. in the Girls Academy against Manchester City. Talk to you again soon. Thanks so much for watching.
This copyrighted broadcast of the 2025 Generation Adidas Cup may not be retransmitted, reproduced, or rebroadcast without the express written consent of Major League Soccer and Player Development, LLC.